Hey everybody, James here at Black Wolf Outdoors. I'm going to take me a little walk through the fields here, kind of look at everything, and walk back to an old area of the farm that back then we used to call the boneyard because it's where all the older vehicles and tractors and stuff, that's where they wound up. And it's also a spot where, like, if when the cattle died or something, we couldn't do anything with it, we just kind of drag it back there. Let me give you a real quick view of the fields. All the way down as far as you can see, except for the mountain or the hill area, large hill in the background. It's just one of the main fields. Like where the trees are and stuff right here. On the other side of that, it's a little more level and everything. It's where we used to do potatoes and corn and everything else. The well house is over that way. Can't see it through the trees and stuff. The creek, yeah, right there. Can't really see that, blurred it out, but creek runs all the way down through the middle of the property. Walk up here a little bit and I'll show you guys a different view. All right, here we go. Up this way, kind of part of the wooded area on this side of the road. Got a little more of a hill here, so I got a better view out across the fields. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a house. Let's see if I can zoom in. Right down there. I guess you can kind of barely see it. That's like the edge of the property that way. That's where, I guess great grandma grew up or lived for a while. One of my nephews is going to be moving in over that way, down by the road that runs by there. That's a road that actually runs down to the river, or it runs into town. All right, let me get a little further back in here, and I'll be back with you guys again. All right, here we go. Came from over that way. No breaking the trees back over to that field. No, we're breaking the trees back here on this side of the field. It goes into the back, one of the back fields. And then there's a piece of machinery right there in the woods. I'm gonna go actually check that out real quick. I'll be right back with you guys. So I was wrong. It's not a piece of machinery. It's a little storage shed back here. That's fenced-in area where one of my uncles keeps his horse. He's up over that way right now. If he pops up, I'll get him on camera for you. But let's get back on this little trail here and get back over to this other field. And I'll be right back with you. Well, let's walk it a little bit. If I can walk it. This little game trail that runs through here. I don't think I want to brave the thorns. But I'll get right back with you. Let me get through these. All right, made it through. And I can already see some of the actual machinery that we have back here on the back side of the farm. Let's see if I can actually get through to it. I didn't take that gap back there. I took another way. A little dried, inclement weather creek. All right. So as you can see, this is the area back here that most of the people here on the farm now call the Pines, even though most of them are dead because of beetle kill and stuff. As you can see, that's why they call it the Pines, because this is the only part that has pines. Everything else has tons of cedar. We got cedar all over the place. But yeah, please excuse the out of breath breathing. I'm going to leave this recording and walk across here. This little hilltop right here. Anybody from the family who's been passed, when most of them been cremated, and that's where they're all scattered, right on top of that hill. Anyway, got some spots where they've been feeding the cattle. So these are neighbors' cattle. We do not have cattle here anymore. All right. We'll get up on it and see if I can still identify this piece of machinery. I know at one point in time I used to know what it was. This looks like a good spot to come dig worms during the summer. Or to gather fertilizer for the garden. I believe, look at it. I think it was, I don't know. I can't remember. I want to say it was something to do with the corn, but I doubt I'm right. All right, well, you can see a little bit of a clearing to the woods there. That's what I'm getting ready to walk to. So give me a second to get over there and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, here we are. Just the other side of this little wooded area, that field over there, begins our neighbor's land. And right now he actually has his cattle over there. So doesn't actually have them in this part. I just walked through all that. Piece of machinery's right over there. I know I'm aiming right at the sun. I can't even see either, so. This is the extent of it back this way. Like, all this is really good hunting grounds. Get tons of deer and turkey and all the small woodland creatures too. There's the cows. All right. There is it's kind of a creek bed, but there's an old lake up here on top of that hill here. And when it gets high enough, the overflow runs down through here. And I don't know if you guys will see it or not. Those are big cat impressions. On a cow turd. So that's not good to find back here. Here's another one. That's lovely. I'll have to report that when I get back up there. Hopefully I don't run into it. That is one stripped down tree, no bark, still standing. Huh. Probably lightning strike blew all the bark of it off. That's why it's still standing, because the bugs like to live in between the bark and the wood, and they chew at it and do all kinds of stuff, and that's what decays it. Trying to see if this is a gate over here, or is this something I threw up to fix the fence at one point. Oh, what are you? Actually, it appears to be, I don't know. There's nothing back here. But this opens for some reason. There's no signage or anything on it. Might be used as some kind of hunting blind. I don't know. There's one big old pine. And a big old oak. That guy's massive. Huh. Couple old dead standing cedars. Actually, a bunch of old dead standing trees back here. I'm guessing that from what I'm seeing, most of the stuff that used to be back here, the old machinery and everything else, besides that one piece, looks like it's all been cleared out. Because that's the area it would have been, is down there in that part of the field. I'm going to do just a little bit more walking around back here and stuff. Just want to kind of look at this part of the fields for when I get ready to start doing my little bushcraft survival stuff. That's another big old dead tree with the bark off of it. Give me one second, let me flip this around. So this is kind of what happens to a tree a lot of times when hit by lightning. The bark absolutely was flying everywhere. And it's a big old tree. No bark on it anywhere. That's some really good, still pretty solid. So good standing timber for lumber. It's nice and straight. Get plenty of board foot out of it. I wish I still had my sawmill. Check out the stump right here, because that looks like cedar. It is. big old cedar stump. And I mean, it is solid. That'd be a lot of fire starting kindling, fat wood. Still got some fence in it. Pretty cool. All right, I'll walk around a little bit more. If I find anything else interesting, I'll turn it back on. Here we are on top of the hill area, like I was telling you, that relatives have been, ashes have been scattered and everything. I'm gonna take one real quick last look around. That was my Aunt Treva's place. I don't know if you guys can hear the stuff running, but it'd be where my nephew's trying to clear out an area to start putting his own place in. Got a generator down there running, not sure what they're running off of it. And I don't exactly feel like going there to find out, but I'm gonna walk within view of them. That side over there, where all the hill is going up, that's actually all our property too, on the other side of the road. As it comes down over this way and the trees kind of drop over, that's where the entrance is to go back up that way. I'll have to walk that one of these days here soon too. Show you all that side of the property. I don't know if I'm going to do my bushcraft survival stuff over here, because it is kind of, it's nice and clean and open, and as far as the resources need for like shelter building, stuff like that, I'd have to cut into too much of what's there. I'm not wanting to really do that. I'm not really wanting to affect the landscape of the fields and everything. The other side, like I said, we don't, give me a second here. Anyways, the other side of the road, we don't really run neighbors' cattle on or anything. It's mostly, you know, hills and woodland. There is a couple smaller fields and stuff over there though. But don't so much run anything over there. That's mainly where people come to hunt. Because, well, my uncle has his group of friends come in to hunt. They come in large groups and they take up some space. There was an old log cabin down that way where they're working at. Looks like they mostly demolished it. It was one of the first structures built on this place back when it was first acquired by the family. Long time ago. It's a hand-built cabin. It's actually, let me get this flipped around. And like I said, I don't feel like walking over and dealing with them or anything. Oh, yeah. Why does this thing never want to focus right? You might be able to see it. I don't know. Cabin's right there. Try wiping the lens real quick, see if that helps. Probably not. Alright, let's get it flipped back around. Anyway, if they weren't there, I'd walk over and shoot a picture of it. sure by now they've seen me walking through the field and trying to figure out who I am. Should be pretty dang noticeable. I'm the only one around here that looks like me and walks like me, so I gotta be me. But we over here this little tree line. Go ahead and call it for the video for the day. Just thought I'd, I don't know, kind of get out and show you guys at least a small piece of what I call home. Where I grew up, the fields I helped cut and bale and haul hay out of, the fields I did crops out of back when I was younger. A little bit of shade now. Alright, well, as this video is already pretty long, hold on, let me show you one thing. The one tree, the bane of my existence on this farm. Let me flip the camera around. Can you see it? Can you see it? That's on all the branches. It's all the way up the tree. It's on the trunk itself. That's a hawthorn tree. Do not like them. They will stab you. They'll go through about anything. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me on this little hike around the farm a little bit. I didn't show you all the stuff because I'm not going to get up into the woods and everything on this side. There's a lot of, my uncles use this side a lot, one of them, to run four-wheelers through and ride trails on and hunt and everything else. And even though he doesn't own it all by himself, he acts like he does. Yeah, brother, woo, another one. But anyways, I'd rather not get in a confrontation with him at this point. Let's see if I can get this one on camera. I don't know if it showed up, but oh well. There are a couple big hawthorn trees. Gotta love them. Almost ran into it. Anyways, I'll get off here. I'm going to end the video. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for coming on the walk with me, even though I'm only a quarter of the way back now. Catch you all next time. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all those cool things. I'll catch you later.